Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the Turismo R. This is one of the oldest supercars in Grand Theft Auto Online. It's actually a car that you can even get your hands on in story mode if you own a personal garage. It's also one of the cheapest cars in Grand Theft Auto if you go to two-door and you sort by price. Owning the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, the vehicle is absolutely free, which I don't even think Rockstar sells the game without the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack at this point, especially for PC. But even if you don't own the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, the vehicle is only a base price of $500,000, making the car basically dirt cheap. In today's video, I'll be talking about its upgrades, showcasing what it's got going for it. We will also be talking about its performance and handling, and seeing if this car's worth the time to get your hands on. So let's get straight into it. Something I've always liked about the Turismo R is that for a $500,000 car, it has always looked absolutely incredible. From being able to see the engine directly through the back deck to the design of the vehicle, I just think it's actually one of the nicest looking supercars in the game. And because of that, I've always been a massive fan of this vehicle. So let's fully customize this car, see what it's going for it, because it actually has some liveries added to it in the later updates. Let's obviously start off with armor. We got brakes, the normal stuff. Now, we actually have quite a few bumper options, as you can see, 13 of them in total. So, we got a carbon splitter, secondary carbon splitter, forged. Honestly, even though there's a lot of options, as you can see, they don't really do much. We are going to go just for a normal, we can either do a secondary race splitter or a secondary, we'll just go for a secondary race splitter. I think that should look fine. We got some rear bumper options, which we can see don't really do much, just a secondary diffuser, but that'll look fine because we'll obviously have the basically tint of whatever color we put as our secondary on the back, which will look sick. Let's do the engine upgrade. We got some exhaust options. We got titanium tipped, aluminum race exhaust. Honestly, that aluminum looks really nice. I'm going to go for the aluminum. I actually really like the way that one is designed. It just looks really, really cool. So that's what we're going to stick with. We're going to do xenon lights for the vehicle. And now we have our livery option. So we got a classic black stripe right through the roof of the car. We got a white stripe, and then we got the Italian stripe. We got red accents, which actually look pretty clean. We got white accents. We got camo, which doesn't really change much on the vehicle. Then we got the camo half and half. This one's pretty cool. We got the atomic racing, which I'm a pretty big fan of. And we have the whip it racing, finishing off the Yogarisham. I don't know how to pronounce that. After messing around with liveries for a while, I've decided to go with atomic racing and a Torino red. I just think this looks amazing. It stands out crazy good. And I love the way that white is on the car as well. We're gonna go with ice white. That kind of looks really cool with the overall design of the vehicle. So that's what we're going to stick with. We do have some roof designs. We can change roof fins, and I actually really like that primary roof fin, so that's what we're going to go with. And we can also make the roof either our secondary color or just normal. We're going to go with a carbon roof. I actually really like the way that the stripe follows right through the engine deck there. We can change the skirts on the car. We got a secondary forged performance skirt. We can do just a secondary performance skirt, which is more carbon. I like carbon more, but actually, no, I like that skirt over this one. I think that the design being on the back of the vehicle, yeah, that just looks better. We got some spoiler options. We got the forged arrow split wing, which looks really weird. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Then we have the kind of like rounded spoiler. This is the one I have on my other vehicle. Not a bad design. We got the forged aftermarket wing, which I actually like quite a bit. That looks terrible. I do not like the insert ducktail. It's not like the worst thing ever, but it's definitely not what I want to stick with. We got the primary GT wing, which looks pretty nice. We also have the primary wing, and then we got some big big wing options. We got the carbon wing, which actually looks pretty cool. And let's do the primary GT wing. Out of all the options here, it's either that one or we're going to go with the aftermarket wing, but I kind of like this one better. So we got suspension options, nice, transmission, and to finish it off, we got the turbo. All that's left is wheel types, which we're going to do high end, and we're going to do, let's do blade. I actually think that looks kind of cool. So I think this car actually looks really, really nice. In front of you, you can see the two different designs I have on my own personal Turismos, and they look incredibly different, but both equally nice in my opinion. I really like the Whip It Racing livery. Not only does this car look great in yellow, but even if you do reds or blues, honestly, a lot of colors just look matched with black. So the Whip It livery actually looks fantastic, and I think the car just looks great. And then the one we just put on, which is I think the Atomic Racing livery, also looks absolutely amazing. That white paired with the red really stands out, and I just think both of these designs are absolutely sick, especially on such a nice looking supercar. So to finish off today's video, we are going to be testing this vehicle's handling, and we're going to be seeing its overall top speed and performance. So let's go do that. When it comes to this vehicle's top speed, it features 122 miles per hour, which isn't anything incredible. It's pretty middle of the pack when it comes to the supers class, and nowadays it's honestly considered pretty slow, judging that newer and newer supercars just keep getting faster. We are going to figure out how this vehicle's lap time is by bringing it down the course in front of us. I actually have a stopwatch in front of me. Because I always do the same course every single time I do a car review, I'm going to start timing the laps, and we're going to create a massive timeline and see just exactly where each of these vehicles fit on that. So yeah, let's see exactly what the Turismo has going for it, starting the stopwatch and full speed ahead. We got a 4-mile journey, and I think the Turismo should actually do pretty well. One thing I noticed just from messing around with it for about 10 or so minutes to get a feel for the car is that it actually has really, really good grip and acceleration, which is actually very important, obviously, when you want to get to your top speed and hold it. So we're going to roll around this corner here. Nice, not too bad at all. Then we're going to slow down a bit, roll around that Sentinel. Yeah, you can see that the Turismo is very, very good on overall handling when it comes to these sharp corners. Let's slow down a bit, roll around this corner here. Nice, okay. Now, I'm always a little cautious on these roads, and that right there is why. You might crash into a car. So I'm always a little cautious when it comes to those jumps, but at the end of the day, there's really not much you can do about them. No cars are turning in front of us, which is very, very important. It's always very sketchy driving through Vinewood Hills, especially if two cars are driving down the exact same spot at the areas that you're rolling around these corners. But nothing to worry about here. Let's keep going up. I actually have to say the Turismo's been handling absolutely fantastic so far. I mean, it does turn a little bit wider than I'd want it to, but for the most part, the braking is very nice, and the acceleration feels absolutely fantastic. So we got 2.2 miles left to go, and we're on the downhill gradient. Now, this is obviously where the Turismo should do fine. All we have to do is let go of the gas and roll around these corners. I had to apply the brakes a little bit, but wow, Turismo very easily made that corner there. Alright, let's go around this corner here, hug it tight. Nice! Yeah, Turismo's handling actually seems to be quite confident. I'm gonna be real, it's handling very well around these corners. Alright, slow down a bit. Nice, again, a little bit of tire spin there, but nothing that we can't handle. It seems like once you start to lose speed and you have to start applying gas, it will lose some grip, but I mean, you can see this thing is handling these corners like a bouse. Alright, let's keep going. Nice. Didn't even go into oncoming traffic. Easily making our way around that corner there. Okay, that was actually, that's pretty solid. So, first impressions of the Turismo on our lap here is that it actually did quite a solid job. I mean, obviously, again, faster cars are probably going to set a lot better lap time. But I'm going to be real, this felt very comfortable. I mean, if I were to rank this car out of 10, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10 on handling, which is one of the most important things. And it also feels like it accelerates very, very well. I'm not sure if this vehicle is all-wheel drive, but from the way that it's been handling, we got a 2-minute, 29-second lap time, which you can see right here. So, Let me see if this vehicle is all-wheel drive. It's pretty easy to test something like that. Just have to bring up a rock, and no, it's actually not, as you can see. The back tires are spinning, but nothing from the front tires. So, funny enough, even though this vehicle has insane acceleration, its braking seems great, and it doesn't lose grip at all. I mean, look at how little tire spin this thing has. It's very, very little tire spin. Compare that to like a Torero or something that, you know, is even newer, and you'll get a lot more tire spin. I'm very surprised. So, actually, I'm pleasantly surprised to say the Turismo is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. To get a good idea of the Turismo's handling and lap time, I decided to do a quick timed lap in the Emirates, and what I was able to achieve was a 2-minute 19-second lap time. And as I said just a moment ago, we got a 2-minute 29-second with the Turismo. So it does showcase the massive difference between one of the best cars in handling in the entire game and a pretty average car, a massive 10-second difference in lap time. Now, to be fair, the lap I did get with the Emirates was pretty insane, and I got pretty lucky when going through some of the areas that there were no cars on the other side of the road when they could have been. But at the same time, I still would have easily set a lap time, even with a bit worse circumstances, at least 8 seconds ahead of the Turismo. So at the end of the day, this is a really fun supercar, and it's nothing incredibly fast, nor is it anything crazy good on handling, but it feels pretty fun to drive. It doesn't have a problem with grip, acceleration, or any of the things that a lot of other supercars might. So it's a fun vehicle, and at the end of the day, the fact that it's free, I'd highly suggest to get your hands on it. Hopefully enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.